This is a country walk where I regularly bring my dog, and this year, more than any year before, the paths and the whole area become really overgrown, in which you can see it's quite difficult to get along the path, and it's still well trodden, but it's more difficult to get through it. And the other thing that you notice about this is that the wild flowers that were along here have disappeared this year. Notably bindweeds, field bindweed and crane's balls. They're no longer here. The whole area has been taken over by long grasses that have grown really tall, and by field parsley. There's some bindweeds here, but they've not been able to grow above the incredibly tall cow parsley and grass, and now you can't even see into the distance really. So I was wondering what is actually causing this effect, and why are these wildflowers being crowded out? And I think it's because the grasses and cow parsley particularly have grown a great deal more and larger this year. And there are several possibilities for this that I was wondering about. First of all, has there been a lot more rain in the last couple of years that could account for this extra growth? And looking back at the details of rainfall, the rainfall in this country has not changed significantly in the past 10-15 years or so. But there are a couple of things that have changed in this country, and one of them is, of course, slightly rising temperatures and significantly rising carbon dioxide levels. And I think it's quite possible that the raised carbon dioxide levels have acted as a fertilizer for all these plants, and certain plants take advantage of it very much while others can't, and it's to do with how fast things grow. I mean, look how high and tall all these plants are. Normally in this field you can see over the plants onto the horizon. You can't see them really this year at all. And I wouldn't say it's concerning, but it is a little bit surprising perhaps. Maybe we've reached a threshold where certain plants can really take advantage of changing environmental conditions. And by the way, I'm not the only person that has noticed the increasing growth of plants and grasses this year. If you look at Orchid Hunter's video, which I've posted below this one, you'll see that he makes the same comments about one of the sites that he's visited. And maybe it's happening all over the country, I don't know. Maybe Britain is turning into a jungle. If it is, well, I'm not complaining. It's always nice to have greenery, and if some greenery grows well, other things like crops may do too. Though I know it's been a very wet year for crops this year, and difficult for crops to grow. But as you can see, this path is continually overgrown. Oh, there's a nice flower here. There's a nice flower here. Cut-leaved cranesbill. That's another plant that seems to be okay in thick vegetation, and it's got a very distinctively pink coloured flower. It's nice to see it here. But as we walk on, the brambles are growing over the path, and I think it's going to be time soon for the council to come and cut this down. But I don't think they will. They've never been up here before. They've never had to come up here before. And we're coming to a different part now that's less overgrown. And this part of the site was subject to a wildfire a couple of years ago. Maybe we're ripe for another wildfire this year if the vegetation gets much longer and we're due for a heat wave in the next couple of weeks. Maybe there's a big wildfire risk in this area again, and there is a risk that it could spread to surrounding buildings. You can see some buildings up there in the distance, though I don't think they'd be affected by a wildfire here. Some nice spear thistles here with interesting insects on them. Again, these plants grow very tall and quick, so you'd expect them to benefit from increased CO2 levels or increased temperatures. And these are excellent for pollinators also. Anyway, the path is getting a bit clearer now. But what I wanted to say, the main point was, are we living in jungle Britain now? Is it like this all over the country? If you've noticed herbage, grasses, tall growing weeds going much thicker and taller than usual, please leave a comment below and I'd appreciate that. Any comments that people make I always reply to. And anyway, jungle Britain, here we are this year. Let's see what it's like in other years. So please like and subscribe, and thanks once again for watching. I really appreciate it.